The crimson sky, the strange phenomenon of light scattering. The sun begins to set over the Grand Tetons, but something is fundamentally wrong. Instead of the familiar palette of gold and soft violet, the horizon is bleeding. A deep bruised crimson spreads across the sky, moving like ink through water. It is a color so intense and so unnatural that birds stop singing and the wind seems to hold its breath. This is not a sunset created by clouds and dust, but a masterpiece of chemical warfare in the upper atmosphere. The sky has become a mirror, reflecting the toxic breath of a giant that is about to wake. To the casual observer, the red sky is a moment of haunting beauty, a viral photo opportunity, but to a volcanologist, it is the final warning written in the language of light. This phenomenon is caused by the massive pre-eruptive venting of gases, specifically sulfur dioxide and carbon dioxide. As these gases rise into the stratosphere, they interact with water vapor to create tiny aerosol droplets. These particles are the perfect size to scatter the shorter blue and green wavelengths of sunlight, leaving only the long, deep red waves to reach the eyes of the terrified watchers below. This is the science of Rayleigh scattering, taken to a catastrophic extreme. The atmosphere over Wyoming and the surrounding states has transformed into a giant laboratory. The concentration of sulfur is so high that the very chemistry of the air is shifting. Usually, these gases are trapped deep within the hydrothermal system of Yellowstone, filtered by the earth and the groundwater. But as the magma rises and the pressure becomes unbearable, the crust begins to leak like a cracked shell. Thousands of tons of volcanic gases are blasted into the sky every hour, creating a shimmering haze that distorts the stars and turns the moon into a pale, sickly orange. As the days progress, the red hue does not fade with the night. Even in the darkness, a strange bioluminescent glow seems to hang over the caldera. This is caused by the ionization of gases and the reflection of the intense heat from the shallow magma chamber against the low-hanging clouds of ash and gas. The world looks as if it is being viewed through a filter of dried blood. For the people trapped in the traffic jams of the evacuation, the red sky is a constant psychological weight. It is a visual reminder that the air they are breathing is no longer the air of the world they knew. The impact of this light scattering is not just visual. The aerosols in the atmosphere begin to reflect sunlight back into space, causing a sudden and localized drop in temperature. Even as the ground grows hotter, the air grows unnaturally cold. A strange metallic mist begins to settle in the valleys, tasting of copper and brimstone. This is the physical manifestation of the volcanic breath. The red sky is the first stage of the volcanic winter, a transition period where the planet begins to shield itself from the sun, using the very debris of its internal explosion. In the final hours before the eruption, the sky undergoes one last transformation. The deep red begins to shift into a dark, oppressive purple. This indicates that the particle size in the atmosphere is increasing, as fine ash begins to mingle with the gas. The beauty of the crimson sunset is replaced by a heavy, suffocating blanket of violet gloom. The sun is now just a dim, glowing ember in a sky that has turned into a solid roof of volcanic waste. The light scattering has reached its saturation point, and the world is plunged into a premature and terrifying twilight. In the final climax of this atmospheric drama, when the first major vent opens, a pillar of white-hot gas and black ash punches through the red veil. The contrast is spectacular and horrifying. The red sky acts as a backdrop to a tower of darkness that rises miles into the air. Lightning generated by the friction of ash particles begins to flicker within the column, illuminating the crimson clouds with jagged blue flashes. It is a display of power that no human art could ever replicate. The sky is no longer a part of the Earth's weather system. It is now a part of the volcano itself. The end of the red sky marks the beginning of the total darkness. As the ash volume increases, the light scattering ends because there is no more light to scatter. The sun is extinguished. The vibrant reds and purples are swallowed by a matte black void that covers hundreds of miles. The atmospheric phenomenon was a brief, beautiful, and deadly transition, a final gift from the Earth before it withdrew into the silence of the ashfall. The watchers who marveled at the sunset now find themselves in a world without shadows. Reflecting on the phenomenon, scientists note that such events have been recorded in history after major eruptions like Krakatoa or Tambora, where the sunsets were red for years. But those were the after effects. In the case of Yellowstone, the red sky is the precursor. It is the announcement. The Earth uses the most beautiful colors in its palette to signal the most destructive event in its repertoire. It is a paradox of nature that the most terrifying moments are often preceded by the most breathtaking views. The story of the crimson sky is a reminder that our environment is a delicate balance of light and matter. When that balance is disturbed by the raw power of a supervolcano, the result is a transformation that touches every sense. We see the red, we smell the sulfur, and we feel the chill in the air. The sky was the first to know that the end was near, and it told the world in the only way it could, by turning the color of fire. The beauty was a warning, and the warning was absolute.